Good morning, lovely lurkers, and welcome to your weekend review. This week, we're going to talk about Microsoft versus the FTC, Secret Invasion, and a live-action Minecraft movie?
That sounds absolutely ludicrous, but you know what? I'm into it, so let's lurk! I am a little scared right now.
Why?
Because I've gotten to that point where I might have too much on my plate. There's a lot of good content out, and I don't have enough time. There's too much time in the day for all the good shows and movies that are coming out right now, and I don't know what to do.
Do you see this couch behind me, Scott?
Yeah, I believe you've casted some people there.
Excuse me? I was going to say it's not the cast. Never mind. You know what?
It's so white. Where'd all the black go?
Used to be gray.
Yeah.
But we talk a lot on this show about watch this, go play this, go to the theaters, invest time and money into this show. And you know what
we say.
There's not enough time in the week. So Scott and I want to start this weekend episode by helping you, lurker, streamline your stream time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think this is a chance for us to look at some of the shows that we've been watching and saying, is it worth it?
Well, let's work it.
So I was not feeling well this week, and I needed an extra day to recoup. To be fair, that's a butthole. That's a cat butthole.
I don't think I made it on screen.
Hey, lurkers.
If you wanted to. Patreon.
Before we started recording, I shared this with Scott. So Bandit yesterday started his second round of chemo. I know, it's sad. You don't have to be too upset. But cats surprisingly do well on chemo. I learned that I have to put on gloves every time I clean up his bodily fluids, pee, poop, and vomit. And so he went poop before the episode, and my fiance went and cleaned it up, and then he came and sat down here on the desk and then got poop on my desk, which got on my hand, which got on my pants.
Into your mouth.
Into my mouth.
And now you're radioactive? Are you a toxic revenger right now?
We'll get there. We'll get there. But I went and had time to watch Silo. I'm caught up. The final episode is this Friday.
Oh.
So I guess it's as this episode is going up, the final episode is out. Go watch it. And Scott, this show has left me wanting so much more. There's so much interesting story to be told. There's twists, there's turns. You remember last week? I was like, listen, if you think you know who a character is, you don't. You really don't. You don't know who the characters are, man. None of them.
Not a single one. This is classic Apple TV sci-fi, though. The Foundation did it, Invasion did it, and now Silo is following suit. We get this slow burn, and it just builds into this rising action, and it never really climaxes. It's just kind of like, it's just you're edging the whole time until the very end. I hate it, and I love it. It's very tantric.
So, in my opinion, it is a show that is worth investing time in.
Speaking of shows that you should absolutely give as many free seconds to, Willie, have you heard of The Bear?
I know Pride was this weekend.
That's right. And what a perfect time to watch this show. However, it's not really about that bear. And it's not really about cocaine either. So, it's
about a chef, right?
It's about a chef. And the way I would describe the show is a drama met a food documentary and had a very dysfunctional baby.
Okay.
The first season is already out, and you can go watch all the episodes. Actually, I'm sorry. Both seasons are out right now.
Oh, okay.
And yes, the premise is a chef comes back to his hometown to take over his brother's restaurant after he unexpectedly passes away. And then it's all about the family coming together and the former people that were working and now have to report to this new boss who they don't really respect because they don't know, and blah, 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 blah. And it's a Chicago-based family, so there's some dysfunction built in with, you know, a traditional or I guess stereotypical Chicago family. I don't know. I'm not from Chicago. But it's so good. It is beautifully shot. And you know how much I love food documentaries. Like, if you've ever watched Chef's Table, it's like the person who made that mixed in shots, and everybody in the show learned how to cook. It was just crazy good photography, cinematography, everything. The actors, the lead guy was in Shameless. Did you ever watch that?
No, but you're talking about Jeremy Allen White?
That's his name. That's right. That's the main guy.
He looks like a coked out chef. That's what he looks like to me.
Yep. That's the guy. Maddie Matheson, who is a very famous
chef,
online chef. Yes.
Yep.
He's in the show.
I was going to say, he is one of my favorite online chefs.
Yes, and he's in the show, and he's great. You wouldn't expect him to be an actor, but he's fantastic.
And I follow a lot of like male fashion blogs.
Okay.
And Maddie Matheson is always considered one of the like go-to big guy, fantastic dressed men in the world. So if you want to see, if you're a bigger guy and you want to see what it looks like to be high fashion,
above or below the waist,
a trendsetter, this guy.
Okay. I'll check him out. But seriously, anybody who likes drama, anybody who likes food documentaries, this show is for you. I will say, though, it has a lot of intense scenes, a lot of yelling, a lot of stress and pressure put on. It seems like something that should be on HBO and somehow made it onto FX/Hulu. But 100%.
Max, the place for HBO?
Yeah. R.I.P.
Now, Scott, one of our other loves is video games. And I just want to touch base. If we're going to streamline this screen time, if you will, I heard that one of our mutual friends, maybe a little closer to me, reached out to me, a little birdie, and Ethan had told me that you guys played Diablo together.
That
and asked if I wanted to play it.
He ratted me out. No, seriously. Do you want to jump in on this? Because Willie, it is a really good time. I think you would enjoy it, but it's an if and only if situation. Do you like
Why?
Isometric games?
I don't. What are other isometric games that I might have played? I never played League.
Yeah. An older version of Baldur's Gate, an older version of Fallout, any of the previous Diablos. Did you play the Minecraft Legends?
No.
When it came out?
No. The Minecraft Dungeons.
Dungeons, not Legends.
Here's the deal. I went and looked at it on Bethesda, which we're going to talk about them in a little bit here. This is a great segue, surprisingly. But it's $100, $70 if you get it just the standard edition.
Base game is $70. The deluxe version, I believe, is $80.
Here's my fear, Scott, and I need you to convince me.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, sure.
And I made it a third of the way through the game.
Only a third?
The
Why?
game is amazing. I loved it. Destiny, Lightfall came out, and I started playing Lightfall. So then the new Star Wars Jedi Survival comes out.
Yeah.
I play a third of that, and then I'm like, I don't have enough time. I'm going to go.
What did I say? What did I say at the beginning of the show? There's not enough time to do any of this stuff.
Is there enough time? Should I invest my limited time getting off the sticky couch and into Diablo 4?
It is worth your time if you want to play with us, but if you don't have time to do that, I would say no. This is a game specifically for people who love this franchise, and if you're more of a COD player, it's probably not the game for you, honestly. You have to have fallen in love with Command and Conquer, Warcraft way back in the day, and if you haven't, Well, guess what? This would be a fun surprise and totally something to get in. But it's a huge map. There are going to be seasons, timed events, just like in Destiny. And you're going to have to invest some of your precious time if you want to keep up with the game.
Just like Microsoft is trying to invest their precious resources buying buying Activision.
Yeah. So this week, Microsoft has been pleading its case as to why this merger why this merger should go through and not be blocked like everybody is trying to do. Do you know what they said? Do you know what they admitted in court?
Microsoft?
Microsoft. They said that they have, and I quote, lost the console wars.
How is that not the reality though?
Begun the Clone Wars have and ended the console wars have. Well, I know we've kind of talked about it before and everybody has really just used numbers to back it up, but ever since the Xbox
facts over feelings here, Scott.
I know,
you
exactly. But ever since the Xbox 360, Microsoft has shit the bed when it came to console sales. The PS4 crushed. The Switch has been crushing. And they haven't been able, with COVID and everything, doing constraint on their supply chain, they've never been able to even have a chance to recover. But what they have used this court time to do is expose all of their enemies. And they've basically been saying, like, Sony's out here making deals, getting exclusive games. Mm-hmm. The only way we can compete is to do what we are doing. Did you know that Microsoft had plans to buy Bungie?
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. No, they were going to buy Bungie because they had heard rumblings that Sony was sniffing around that franchise or sniffing around that company. And lo and behold, they went out and bought
Sony bought them.
Yeah.
Sony was like, come here. Get under our wing. Get under this.
And Sony was also going out to other game companies like Bethesda and saying, we want Starfield to be exclusive to PlayStation, and we will pay you a buttload of money. Mm-hmm. Microsoft was like, well, shit, if we want any chance at staying alive, I'm just going to buy the whole company. And that's what they did.
And listen, as much as Nintendo, I think, sometimes shits the bed, the FTC has gone out and said, hold on, they've gone out and said that Nintendo is not a player in this console war and that it really is Microsoft versus Sony. And I think that's bullshit. And the reason I say Netflix has shit the bed is because well, both.
True.
But Nintendo is because, like, oh God, this is such a hot take. In so many ways, their consoles don't hold up to modern gaming. They are good at putting out games that fit a very specific causeway, but never could you see a AAA title on the Switch. And Microsoft is arguing that they can find a way to do that, that you can bring things like Call of Duty to the Switch. And the FTC is like, yeah, no fucking way.
So you're telling me Zelda Breath of the Wild Game of the Year is not a AAA title?
It's not the same.
It's kind of the same.
Shut up.
You're telling me it's Tears of the Kingdom future 2023 Game of the Year is not a AAA title?
Not in the same way. Could you go on to a Switch right now and play Destiny?
No.
Diablo?
Because it wasn't... Yes, Diablo 3.
4. Diablo 4.
No, it hasn't been released yet. They're working on it, I'm sure.
Could you play Portal 2? It's 10 years old.
Maybe?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't touched my Switch in a really long time.
I know. My point is that you can name a laundry list of big named titles, and they're just not compatible with the Switch because it's limited.
The argument has been made that those are now considered quadruple A games, which sounds gross because how far are we going to go? But yeah, like God of War Ragnarok isn't coming to Switch day one. It's just not. The hardware can't do it. However, you can't deny that the Switch is a console, number one. And number two, is infinitely more popular than the Xbox.
Yes, 100% yes.
And so Nintendo kicks their ass on a daily basis. And that's all Microsoft has basically been saying in court. Like, if we don't do this, we are going to be left out. We are going to be wanting, and we might not be around as a gaming company, meaning that these two juggernauts will take even more of the lion's share.
So I my opinion for you, the opinion I want from you as we move on from this is, should Microsoft be able to, in your humble opinion, be able to buy Activision Blizzard?
My short belief is that if they do not, Microsoft will be going the way of Stadia in 5 years.
To be more specific, likely the Xbox will, but not PC.
Right, like it will have to be like they'll I don't know if the cloud streaming service will survive, because yes, they give us over 200 games right now, but when people actually start looking at those games, they're not I don't even think they're AAA titles.
Solitaire doesn't count.
Speaking of solitary, have you ever felt just so alone and you can't trust anybody, and all you want to do is go where somebody knows your name and they're always glad you came?
Huh?
Well, that's what Nick Fury's doing at the very beginning of the new Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. He has returned to Earth from Saber, which we'll find out what that is later in the Marvels. And as it turns out, Skrull relocation isn't going so hot. Did you have a chance to watch the first episode?
I loved the first episode. I thought this first episode was gritty. It was dark. I think that there was plenty of nuanced storytelling. Clearly, I think it's very much a Disney Plus story. I wanted it to be maybe a little darker, a little grittier.
Well, the ending wasn't gritty enough for you? That was a surprise. No spoilers. But the end of the very first episode leaves you with a little bit of a jaw slacked or agape.
What's going to happen in this series, I think, is going to be really big. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Ben Mendelsohn is back as the now exiled leader of the Skrulls. There's a new sheriff in town, and he does not like human beings, or he at least doesn't like them because they haven't been able to relocate them successfully. Talos, Ben Mendelsohn's character, his daughter has grown up, and lo and behold, she's Khaleesi.
Yep.
So you've got this great cast. Olivia Colman from The Queen and many other great films. She pops up in this. Colby Smulders is back as Maria Hill. Like, there's just a lot going on, and if it's like the other shows, Willie's probably not going to like it as much as I do. But I encourage everybody to check it out. It's on, I don't know, Wednesdays or Thursdays.
Wednesdays.
And
yep.
Just kind of shoehorn it in when you can. Then again, in about, what is it, 8 episodes?
Yeah,
probably.
I think so.
Yeah, in a couple months you
and
can
it'll be all done.
Binge it. Yeah.
Now, you gave a post before we go on from this. There's this thing that said, soon after the episode aired, a report surfaced noting that the opening had been created using AI, something that sparked outcry on social media.
Yeah.
The studio, Method Studio, wants to clarify those reports surrounding how AI was used in the animated opening made by the design division. AI is just one tool among the array of tool sets the artists use. I read this, and just to put my opinion on this, artists will use AI to create and assists in that creative process.
Yeah.
But it's not the wokeism people are thinking of it as.
I think a lot of people were mad because of the old South Park adage, they took our jobs.
Right.
They thought the studios were just coming in, casting human workers off to the side and saying we can just get Midjourney to make all of the art we need for opening closing credits now. I like the idea behind it. It's like most AI in that it doesn't look like really great. And I think, honestly, they could have spent all of that mouse money that they're saving from not giving to Florida to hire a few more animators, but maybe they were just kind of upset. Maybe they were former Spider-Verse animators who quit halfway through. The idea that Skrulls can shapeshift and change into literally anything, I thought that was captured really well by the opening credits. It looked cool. And I guess I understand where you're coming from if you don't like it, but kind of what the whoever's in charge, hate him if you will, was going for, like it landed with a lay person like myself.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of things we love to hate, Warner Brothers is back in the news. And this time, they're taking a big old partnership with Microsoft. Again, somehow Microsoft is saying, like, we're dying, we're bleeding. Let's milk our content even more. And they are the proud owners of Minecraft. Well, Lurkers, they are making a live-action Minecraft movie.
I read this, and my first thought is, what the How? How is this going to work? If I've learned anything from you, I guess Minecraft veteran, you've been around the block, so to speak. You introduced it to me. I fell in love because it's like an adult Lego, not that kind of adult, but it could be. It's just a fun sandbox playground to mess around in and build and create and destroy. What does a live action version of Minecraft even look like?
Well, so there's more, I think, to the world of Minecraft than just building. And they've laid out some, what I would consider some very basic lore. And so the main character, Steve, and now when you load up Minecraft, you're going to be met with a dozen other characters that you can choose from.
Sure.
Microsoft just trying to diversify their pick of characters. But you think of it as just like you're fighting against skeletons and creepers and you're killing cows and sheep and building houses, right? There's not really much of a movie to be made, especially a live action one out of that. But what if I told you that there are deep, dark, secret caves with surprising things, hidden villages, places to discover cool, unique things like an Indiana Jones, right? Like deserted temple.
Is this just going to be a Jumanji movie or like a Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Well,
is The Rock going to be starring or John Cena going to be the star of this movie?
I think you can make a lot of lore out of this. And one thing that, like, maybe this is me getting a little excited about this because I've been playing Minecraft since
Let me see your nipples.
It was owned by Microsoft. No.
All right, well, okay.
Or hard. But can you imagine if you're a little kid and you see this like rugged outdoorsman going into this like scary dungeon and then going into the nether and having to fight his way through and fighting through this like story that's built around some of the things that we see, right? Enchanted armor. And then you get to go play your animated cartoon version of that at home?
I guess that would be cool. I just can't wrap my head around the art style of Minecraft translating well into a live action. I hate
don't think they would do
live
that.
action remix. I know, but then is it really Minecraft if you just use everything that's kind of nice and authentic to real life? Because seriously, the guy who played in Ant-Man Quantumania, the guy who played MODOK,
Sure, yeah.
that's all I'm envisioning when I see this. I just... Whoever they get to play the lead is just going to have a ugly, disgusting, squared-off head, and then it's going to be a horrifying face in the middle of that blockhead. And it's just going to be nightmare fuels, you know, the uncanny valley all day long. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm out.
No way. All right. Well, we're going to have to wait and see. And you know what? I'm out too.
Where are you going? Oh, wait a minute. That means that's our show, lovely lurkers. Thanks for hanging out with us this weekend. Please rate and review wherever you lurk.
We appreciate the love, so let's remember to be kind to each other, and we'll see you next week.